Have you ever felt tired in a kitchen you haven't even used yet? You walk in early in the morning. You haven't cooked anything. You haven't even had your coffee, but your shoulders feel heavy already, before your day has even started. Here's a strange fact. Some research suggests that clutter can tire your brain before you do anything at all. Your eyes see a messy counter, and your mind starts working, even when you don't ask it to. Think about your own kitchen for a second. A cup from last night, still sitting by the sink. A bag of bread, still open on the counter. Maybe a few crumbs near the stove. A dish towel, thrown over a chair instead of hung up. None of it is a big mess. It's small. It's ordinary. But somehow, it feels loud. You haven't done anything wrong. This happens in almost every home, almost every morning. It's simply part of how mornings work. For so many of us, nobody plans for this. It just happens, quietly, night after night. Maybe this sounds familiar to you right now as you listen. Maybe you can picture your own kitchen counter, this very moment, without even trying. That picture in your head is exactly where we're going to start. Today, we look closely at why this happens. And we look at one small thing you can do, right before breakfast, that can quiet this feeling down, before your whole day begins. So, here's today's habit. It's small, and it takes less than a minute of your morning. Clear one surface in your kitchen before you make breakfast. That's it. Not the whole kitchen. Not every dish in the sink. Just one surface. One counter. One small part of your table. Simple, right? But this small habit connects to something bigger about how your mind actually works in the morning. And that's exactly what we're going to explore together today, one piece at a time. Here's the question we're going to answer, step by step, before this episode ends. Why does clearing just one small space in your kitchen change your whole morning? By the end of this episode, you'll understand why this small habit works so well, even though it looks so simple. And more than that, you'll have one clear, easy thing to try tomorrow morning, right at 7 o'clock, before you even reach for the stove. This isn't about becoming a different kind of person, someone super organized, someone with a perfect kitchen. It's about one small change, in one small place, that most people never notice they have control over. Let's start with the part almost everyone struggles with, because this is where most mornings quietly go wrong. Let's talk about why this is hard. Because it is hard, and that's very normal. Picture your kitchen last night. You cooked dinner, you ate, you felt tired, and you didn't want to do one more thing before bed. So the dishes stayed in the sink. A cup stayed on the counter. You told yourself, I'll take care of it in the morning. That thought feels easy at night. It feels much less easy at 7 the next day. Morning comes, and that same small mess feels heavier than it should. Your body is still waking up. Your mind is still slow, still catching up to the day. Cleaning feels like real work before your actual work has even begun. Even lifting one cup can feel like too much before your coffee. There's another layer to this, too. That mess doesn't feel like your job right now. It feels like something left over from last night, something that belongs to a different, more tired version of you. So your mind quietly walks right past it, almost without noticing. And mornings move fast, faster than we plan for. 7 o'clock arrives, and you're already thinking about breakfast, about your day, about the long list of things waiting for you. Stopping to tidy up feels like the last thing you have room for, even for 30 seconds. Here's one more piece worth noticing. A single cup on the counter doesn't feel urgent. One open bag of bread doesn't feel urgent either. A few crumbs near the stove seem far too small to matter. So you walk past it today. You walk past it tomorrow. Nothing ever forces you to stop and clear it, so it simply stays there, quietly, day after day. And slowly, without anyone deciding this on purpose, a small mess becomes part of the normal morning scene. It's not dramatic. It's not even really noticeable anymore. It just sits there, in the background of your day. None of this means something is wrong with you. Many people feel exactly this way, morning after morning, in kitchens all over the world. This isn't about being lazy or careless. It's simply about how a busy, tired morning naturally pulls your attention somewhere else. Think about a friend of yours, someone busy, someone with a full life. Maybe she leaves for work early. Maybe he has kids to get ready before 8 in the morning. For people like this, a small mess on the counter isn't a choice. It's just what happens when a morning moves fast, and there isn't a second to spare. And there's something else worth saying here. A messy counter doesn't mean you don't care about your home. It usually means the opposite. It means your evening was full, your energy was low, and sleep felt more important than one more chore. That's not a failure. That's just being human at the end of a long day. There's also a quieter reason this habit gets skipped so easily. Nobody ever taught us to think about our kitchen this way. We learn to cook. We learn to clean, eventually, when things get messy enough. But almost nobody teaches us that one small clear space, at one small moment, can actually change how a whole morning feels. So, it's not surprising that most of us have never tried it on purpose. But here's where things start to get interesting and where a little bit of science can actually help. Let's talk about what's really happening in your brain when you walk into a messy kitchen. Some research suggests that when your eyes see clutter, your brain has to work a little harder just to focus. Clutter quietly pulls at your attention, even when you're not looking directly at it, even when you don't notice it happening. Think of your attention like a small cup you carry every morning. It only holds so much. A messy counter takes a small sip from that cup before you've even poured your coffee or started making breakfast. Researchers at Princeton studied something close to this idea. They found that when there's too much for the eyes to take in, the brain has a harder time staying focused on any one thing. A crowded space asks your brain to sort through more information than it actually needs first thing in the morning. This doesn't mean clutter is dangerous or that it will hurt you in any way. It simply means your brain notices more than you think, even when you're not paying close attention. A quiet space asks less of you. A busy space, even a small one, asks a little more. Now, picture the opposite scene. One clear surface, with nothing extra sitting on it, nothing pulling at your eyes, nothing quietly asking for your attention. Your brain gets a small, quiet break, right at the very start of your day, before anything else happens. Many people say they feel calmer the moment their kitchen counter is clear. even before they've made a single cup of coffee. It's not something magical. It's simply less for your mind to carry first thing in the morning when your mind is still soft and slow. There's a second piece to this too. A clear space doesn't only help your focus. It also changes how your whole kitchen feels. The moment you walk in, a clear counter feels open. A crowded counter feels smaller, even in the exact same room. And that calm feeling doesn't stay small. It can shape everything that comes right after it. Breakfast feels easier to make. Your morning feels less rushed, less scattered, less noisy in your head. You feel a little more like yourself, right from the very start. Some people describe it as a kind of soft reset, even though nothing else in the room has actually changed. The stove is the same. The dishes in the sink are the same. Only one small surface is different, and somehow that's enough to shift how the whole space feels. Think about walking into a hotel room for the first time. The counters are empty. The surfaces are clear. Most people say that feeling is calm, almost instantly, before they've even unpacked a single bag. Your own kitchen can give you a small piece of that same feeling every single morning without a hotel price tag attached. Of course, your kitchen isn't a hotel room, and it doesn't need to be. You don't need empty counters all day long. You only need one clear space for one part of your morning at one important moment. So the science is fairly clear. A clear surface gives your mind more room to breathe, even for just a few minutes. The real question now is how to make this happen every single day without turning it into one more chore on your list. Let's talk about how you actually make this happen every single morning without it feeling like extra work. Here's the part that makes this easy. You don't add a brand new step to your morning. Instead, you attach this habit to something you already do, without even thinking about it, without any planning at all. Every morning, you turn on the stove, or you reach for a pan, or you start your coffee maker. This already happens, almost automatically, before your mind is fully awake. So this new habit simply rides along with something already built into your day, like a small passenger on a trip you're already taking. Right before that moment, you clear one surface. Just one. Not the whole kitchen. Not every dish waiting in the sink. One counter or one small part of your table. Nothing more than that. This is what makes a habit easy to keep, week after week, month after month. You're not organizing your whole kitchen, and you're not organizing your whole life. You're organizing one small space, at one small moment, every single morning, and that's the whole plan. Small also means specific, and specific is what makes it doable. Clean the kitchen feels big and vague, so your mind quietly avoids it. Clear one surface is small enough for your mind to hold on to, even at 7 in the morning, even when you're still half asleep and thinking about 100 other things. This is the same idea many people use to build other simple habits in their lives. You connect something new to something old. You keep the new part tiny. You make it so easy that saying no almost feels harder than saying yes. Think about it this way. You're not asking your morning self to do something big or difficult. You're only asking for 30 seconds, right before a moment that already happens anyway. That's a very small, very fair request. People use this same idea in other parts of their day, too. Some people put their vitamins right next to their toothbrush so they never forget to take them. Some people set their shoes by the door the night before, so a morning walk feels easier to start. The habit is different every time. The idea underneath it stays the same. You borrow a moment that already exists, and you place something small right next to it. Your kitchen already gives you that moment, every single morning for free. You don't need to build a brand new routine from nothing. You only need to notice the moment you already have and use it well. This is different from telling yourself, "I'll be more organized from now on." That kind of goal is too big and too vague, and it usually fades away after a few days. A tiny, specific action, tied to a moment you already lived through, tends to stick around much longer. It doesn't ask for willpower. It just asks for 30 seconds at a moment that was already happening anyway. So here's your one action for tomorrow morning, and it's simple enough to start right away, with nothing extra needed. Before you turn on the stove, clear one counter or one table space with your hands. That's it. One surface. One small action. You don't need any new tools, and you don't need extra time in your morning. You just need those 30 seconds, right before you start making breakfast. Nothing more than that. Maybe it's the space right next to your stove. Maybe it's a corner of your kitchen table. Maybe it's the small space where your coffee maker sits. You get to choose whichever surface bothers you most, the one you notice first when you walk in. You don't need to decide right now. Tomorrow morning, your eyes will find it on their own. Whatever spot pulls your attention first, in that first quiet moment, is the one worth clearing. Trust that first feeling, and start right there, without overthinking it. You move the cup over to the sink. You close the bread bag. You wipe away a few crumbs with a towel or a paper towel. You hang the dish towel back where it belongs. Small, simple movements. Nothing complicated, and nothing that takes real effort or real time. Then you make your breakfast right there, on that clear space. And you sit down to eat in a kitchen that feels just a little lighter than it did yesterday morning, in a small way you might actually notice. Let's say it one more time together, so it's easy to remember tomorrow when your alarm goes off and your kitchen is waiting. Before you turn on the stove, clear one counter or one table space with your hands. Can you try this tomorrow morning? I think you can. It's small, it's quick, and you already have everything you need to do it, right there in your own kitchen. And if you forget one morning, that's okay too. You can simply try again the next day. This isn't about being perfect, and it never needs to be. It's about giving your morning one small, clear space to begin, one day at a time. Maybe your kitchen is very small, and there's really only one counter to begin with. That's fine. Clear part of it. Even a small, clear patch of space can give your mind that same quiet break. Maybe you live with other people, and the mess isn't always yours. That's fine too. You're not cleaning up after anyone else. You're simply choosing your own small space for your own morning. Some mornings, there won't be much to clear at all. On those mornings, this action takes only a few seconds, and that's a good sign. not a problem. The goal was never to create more work for you. The goal was always to give your morning one small, clear moment, right before breakfast begins. Let's walk back through what we talked about today, slowly, so it stays with you. A messy kitchen can quietly tire your brain even before breakfast begins. Clutter pulls at your attention without you even noticing it happening. One clear surface gives your mind a small, quiet break right at the start of your day. You don't need to clean everything at once. You only need one space, cleared before you start cooking. Now, let's slow down and remember our key words from today, one at a time, nice and clear. A surface is any flat place, like a counter or a table. Clutter is small things that sit around with no place to go. When your eyes see less clutter, your mind can feel more focused. You don't need to organize everything. You can just organize one small space. Your counter is the flat space right next to your stove or your sink. And a clear space can help your mind feel calm before your day even starts. Tomorrow morning, before you turn on the stove, clear one surface with your hands, one counter, one small space. That's really all it takes, nothing more and nothing less. You already know your own kitchen. You already know which surface bothers you most when you walk in. Tomorrow, just for 30 seconds, clear it before anything else happens. That one small space might end up being the calmest part of your entire morning, and maybe even your entire day. And here's the thing worth remembering. Small habits like this one rarely change your life in one single morning. They work slowly, quietly, morning after morning, until one day you notice something has actually shifted. You notice you feel a little calmer at breakfast. You notice your kitchen feels a little lighter without really trying. That's how real change usually happens. Not all at once, not with one big effort, just one small surface, cleared before breakfast, morning after morning, until it simply becomes part of who you are. You don't need to think about tomorrow's whole day right now, or plan anything else beyond this. You just need to remember one small surface, one small moment, right before the stove turns on. If this helped you feel a little more ready for tomorrow, follow along for more small morning habits, one simple step at a time.